We have more than anyone else. We are the most. We are news leaders, and credibility is the order of the day.
Why don't you come to the most? Only the Sun can cover you better than our new digital product with exclusive stories and entertaining content.
We are the most. Community TV page and radio community announcements. The most viewers and listeners in the country.
We have the most years of the human history recorded. There's no archive like ours.
I came back home to bring you even more news and local programming. We're simply the most, the news ZNS.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Vontae, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop.
2 minutes to airtime. I came back home to make sure you have the most in news and entertainment. We're simply the most.
And I came back home to make sure that you have the most in information, education, entertainment, and inspiration. We're simply the most. The news ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Your one-stop shop for all things news and entertainment.
Bringing you exclusive content from unique talents you can't find anywhere else.
Keeping you updated with the top stories from across the nation.
And entertained with a variety of engaging content.
All in one.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the government considers a minimum wage increase. We have residents' reaction. Plus, a Grand Bahama man reported missing, found after days at sea. And a local Met officer weighs in on a tropical wave making its way to the Bahamas. The Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight from $210 to $260, and now possibly becoming more. The Minister of Labor and the Public Service, the Honorable Pia Glover-Roll, announcing potential changes that could significantly impact many residents throughout the Bahamas. This as the government is considering yet another increase in minimum wage. Our Aja Quant hit the streets of Grand Bahama today to see what residents had to say about this consideration.
It is a sense of relief and hope for some residents following the recent announcement made by the Minister of Labor and Public Service, the Honorable Pia Glover-Roll. She reveals that the government is considering raising minimum wage, a hot-button topic that has many on the island talking.
I think it would be a good thing. The cost of living has gone up, and so taking minimum wage up in the Bahamas only can benefit persons. A lot of people are living below the poverty line, unfortunately. So this is a great thing for us.
The average person needs to make a livable wage, and honestly, $260 isn't enough to live in this town if you have to pay rent and bills and you have kids in school. I agree with it.
If they raise the minimum wage, it's easy for them to pay the rent and get food.
By the time you get paid, you pay your rent, you pay your mortgage, then you be broke again. So I think increase would be good.
When you think about rent is like $750 and up, you know, even $1,000, like almost mortgage. And so like they need to like raise it up more just to help.
It should be more, but thank God for what you can get.
In January of 2023, the government increased minimum wage from $210 to $260. Now residents are calling for the government to consider raising it this time to $300 or more.
I think it should be somewhere close to the U.S., but I know it's not going to get there anytime soon. But I think it should go to at least $350, $400.
I don't want our bank to go bankrupt, but it would be nice if all and sundry were able to live an affordable life.
But there's one resident who had an interesting view on public versus private.
They say they want to raise it to $350, but I can see $350 for the public service, but not the private enterprise. That ain't gonna work. That can't work. Because the people in the private enterprise ain't making no money. Some of these people who have this place, they got to pay the rent, they got to pay the light bill. Then they can't pay no staff but $350.
Now, Minister Glover Roll has assured that stakeholders will be included in the discussion every step of the way. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Thanks, Aja. Well, good news to report tonight. Worried children are now relieved as a man reported missing was found in the water near the Abaco Islands. On Monday, Leonard Larota was reported missing by concerned family members as he left the nation's capital with a newly purchased boat in hopes to make it to Mars Island. Tonight, family members speak with our Shalia Roll on this happy reunion.
3 days with no food and no water is how Leonard Larota spent his nights as he was stranded in the middle of the ocean while on a journey from the nation's capital to Mars Island. Family members of Larota took immediate action and contacted competent authorities along with renting a private plane in search for their loved one. Somalian Larota, son of the fisherman, says that while his father was in the middle of the ocean, things took an unfortunate turn as the boat malfunctioned.
So he spun a prop, meaning that he lost propeller on the engine. So he lost it on the ocean side, right, northeast channel in that area. And by a miracle, wind and tide was on his side, so it pushed him all the way up to that shallow bank in between Sandy Point and Castaway Key or Gordon Key. And it so happened to be that he was right in the line of sight.
In the midst of this trial, Leonard Larota says that his quick thinking and being able to use his resources is what saved his life while he was in this unfortunate situation.
I had a transparent shower curtain, the clear ones, and I used that to make a sail. And I used the wind and that to steer the boat.
Lendell Neely says that yesterday in her search, she was able to see a vessel from the skies, but upon closer evaluation, the description did not match her father's boat. But when she spoke to her father after he was found, he said that he was able to see the plane in the sky, but was not able to call for help. As emotions were high yesterday, the children of the fisherman are now grateful for their father's return, adding that it was only God that was able to preserve his life.
Felt relief, you know, because he been missing from, I'd say, about Sunday night. You know, so that'd been 3 days on an open water by yourself. So I know something like that isn't easy.
God wasn't finished with him yet. Like here, but it's a story, it's a purpose, it's a plan. You know what I mean? It's just a testimony. It's faith. Only by God he is here, it's by God he's here, he survived, he made it.
The Larota family is thankful for the public support in the search of their loved one. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rule.
Certainly is good news. Glad that he's now safe. Meanwhile, in the tropics, a tropical wave has the country on pins and needles. Recent forecasts show the entire country in the cone of concern, as the wave has a 60% chance to begin some formation. However, a local Met officer sat with our ZNS News team today to give us an update and cautions it's too soon to jump the gun. Shane Stubbs reports.
It's not a name system at this point or anything like that, and it will not be for a couple days. But once it gets toward the Bahamas, that's when we could see some developments.
Going into month 3 of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, the country is currently monitoring a tropical wave expected to travel over the country going into the weekend. However, according to Senior Man Officer Trinard Tynes,
so far, since I've been watching it, the models have not been agreeing at all.
Largely due to the dry shield known as the Saharan dust, coupled with other variables. Subtract those elements, though.
Then the storm, worst case scenario, would have formed in our area over probably the central Bahamas as a tropical depression, low form. Then as it moved, it would have moved further north, probably across the rest of us or in the Florida Keys area or some of that area, and it'd probably make it either if it get into the Gulf of Mexico, it would have turned into a tropical storm and then become a hurricane, but it would not be in our area.
Now, the Senior Man Officer understands the alarm, but he also is advising the public not to get frantic just yet, as systems have stages to go through before even getting to hurricane status. He also explains that the current cone is merely a depiction of where development could happen.
This cone, what you're looking at now, is telling you where is the possibility that it could form. Not what storm going to be there. It could form anywhere in that large cone area. So far now, they have moved the prediction of where it's supposed to form over the south and central Bahamas, now closer to the eastern coast or central coast of Cuba.
With various models not in agreement as far as projections, Tynes signals this as a good thing. On the other hand, he urges residents not to fall for misinformation on social media. Overall, Tynes says we could be in for a very wet weekend.
Let's not panic or jump the gun. We still got a couple of more days, but this system is going to be in our area for the weekend, and this is what's going to bring the wet weather for us.
In the meantime, we are headed into the peak of the season, so ensure that you keep up with updates from the Met Department and do all your hurricane checks. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks, Shane. Well, the Royal Bahamas Police in Northern Bahamas making impressive strides with recent successes in crime reduction, including significant firearm recoveries and the resolution of major criminal cases. This, according to the island's top cop, Ajaquant takes a closer look.
This division has seen success, and when I say this division, I'm talking about Abaco and Bimini, the whole Northern Bahamas.
3 armed robberies reported on Grand Bahama this year have been solved, with suspects currently before the courts. Out of the 7 murders in the Northern Bahamas, 4 cases have been resolved, with suspects facing legal proceedings. And as a result of the ongoing weekly operations in the Northern Bahamas, over 1,800 fixed penalty notices, mostly for unlicensed vehicles and speeding, have been issued. All of this according to the Assistant Commissioner of Police for the Northern Bahamas, ACP Shanta Knowles. She highlights significant achievements in firearm recoveries, attributing their success to the diligent efforts of law enforcement officers.
For the year, we have already, in Northern Bahamas only, we have recovered 32 firearms and just over 16,000 rounds of ammunition, and we have put 35 persons before courts.
ACP Knowles notes the challenges in preventing weapons from entering the country, particularly in Grand Bahama, where the extensive waterways provide potential smuggling routes. However, the police force has made substantial progress through a strong partnership with the Bahamas Customs and the Bahamas Defense Force.
My Marine section, along with the Marine section from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and Customs, continuously patrol the canals and the outskirts of our islands, hoping that we can prevent these kinds of things from entering our islands and certainly entering our country.
When asked about the possibility of implementing a gun buyback program, which is a strategy designed to reduce the circulation of both legally and illegally owned firearms, ACP Knowles stated that such an initiative would require government sanction.
I don't know if the commissioner looking into that as yet. I do believe that that is something that has to go through government, or has to be sanctioned by government first in order for us to put that into play.
Now, ACP Knowles also praising her team for their remarkable success in combating crime. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ajaquant.
Also in news from police on Grand Bahama confiscating 1 pound of suspected marijuana in the area of Columbus Park on Tuesday. Preliminary reports revealed that officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit were on mobile patrol when they noticed a dark-colored Japanese vehicle speeding away from the park shortly after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. While the officers pursued the vehicle, the driver was able to evade them. However, the officers returned to the initial location, conducted a search, and found a quantity of suspected marijuana in a bushy area. The drugs are valued at $1,000. This matter remains under active investigations. Also in news from police in Abaco, officers from the Abaco Police Division seized the firearm shortly after 4 p.m. on Monday, July 29, 2024. Police on that northern island report that while in Central Pines, officers acting on information searched an abandoned appliance, discovering and confiscating the weapon. No arrest has been made in connection with this incident. However, it remains under active investigations. When we come back here, one man's 10-year journey to freedom after what he calls a false arrest. That story, sports, and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Hands Across Grand Bahama presents its 19th annual prayer walk under the theme, Praying for the Supernatural Move for Missing Persons. August 3rd at 6 a.m. Walk starts from the corner of AID to the International Bazaar. The prayer of the righteous availeth much. This event is hosted by Evangelist Elmore Smith. It's the Emancipation Day sale at the Park and Shop this July 31st through August 3rd. 25% off excluding red tag items, and while there, take advantage of their back-to-school items.
At Harvey's Tech Bargains, West Mall Plaza, find the best deals on smart TVs, laptops, game consoles, tablets, cell phones, cell phone accessories, gift cards, and so much more. Open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Tonight, we revisit the harrowing journey of Antonio Outen, a young man who has spent over a decade trying to clear his name. After fighting against a wrongful charge and facing disbelief, Outen's battle for justice reached a significant milestone earlier this year. Our Ajikwan brings us an emotional follow-up on his story.
My name is Antonio Outen, and I'm a free man.
It has been a decade-long fight for justice. In 2013, Antonio Outen alleges that he and his friends were followed by police officers for no apparent reason. Fearing for their safety, they sped away, only to allegedly be shot at by police. Outen claims there was no justification for this use of force. When apprehended, he was charged with allegedly attempting to knock down a cyclist.
I went to court for years on false allegations.
For years, Outen's story fell on deaf ears. He struggled without legal representation, believing that the truth alone would exonerate him. Unfortunately, it didn't, and he felt the weight of disbelief from those around him. His story not new to ZNS News, as he made a bold step in speaking out and shedding light on the situation in 2022. Fast forward to 2023, Outen traveled to the nation's capital, met with a law firm, and pleaded his case.
That process took almost 10 years in itself for me to get someone to believe what I'm saying and then try and do something about it.
This time, his persistence paid off.
Big shout out to Mr. Mario Ducil and his whole team over there in Nassau.
The firm agreed to take him on, and after an intense legal battle, Acting Deputy Chief Magistrate Charlton Smith discharged his case on February 26, 2024.
When the judge said those words that he waited so long to hear, I thanked him, I thanked my attorney, I thanked the prosecutor, I thanked the Bahamas judicial system for trying to correct this problem. And I break off running.
Outen's fight for justice has not been without personal cost. He speaks candidly about the PTSD that still haunts him, a lingering scar from the traumatic events of 2013. Adding to his emotional burden was the loss of his father in September of 2023, a man who had been his biggest supporter through the entire ordeal.
A lot of people didn't believe me. And my dad, he said to me, the wheels of justice grind slow. And I didn't understand that. I wasn't able to understand it until now. So I dedicate this to my dad.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Stay with us. There's more news after this.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I still want to put shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
And I still want to put shoes on your feet.
We still want to put shoes on your feet.
2 locations to put shoes on your feet. Downtown Freeport, and now our newest location in the Carmichael City Shopping Plaza, right behind the Walk-Up Wendy's, Carmichael Road West.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments, starting with this tarp.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies.
Nobody
does it
better.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown of intellect. 11 schools vying for the trophy, scholarships, and bragging rights. Battle of the Brains.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports once again. We have a whole lot of sports for you, college basketball, but let's begin with flag football. The Grand Bahama Invitational Flag Football Tournament is set for this weekend, August 3rd and 4th at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex.
We're expecting 7 male teams to participate, 6 which will be local flag football teams. And then we'll have 1 visiting team out of Nassau. The exciting part is the visiting team is the actual champion, the men's championship team out of Nassau. So with those guys coming in town and our championship team intending to participate this weekend, that gives us a good glimpse at what this year's men's national championship is possibly going to look like. While each team is represented, there is instances where persons get to actually come out, have some fun, and join their friends for a change. You know, throughout the season, we're not enemies, but we're always opponents. So now is a good time for some of those opponents to get together in the spirit of camaraderie, join up, and just in good, fair competition, just trying to capture that win.
Next in sports, Oklahoma Wesleyan University competed against some local players from Grand Bahama. They played in 4 total games against Bahamian prospects.
It's my first time out here in the Bahamas. It's a great country, even better people. You know, it's great competition out here. Very athletic, very good. I've never played anybody like it. It's a great time out here. Yeah, just nice to come out here and get to work.
And last in sports, the GBBA held its end-season awards. Winning Coach of the Year was Trico Dames, who led the Gym Rats to the title this year. Dion Storr from 242 Elite captured the Rookie of the Year award. The regular season MVP honors went to Mikael Bethel from the Fugees. Condell Beef Delancey earned Defensive Player of the Year from the champions, Gym Rats. Trevor Bain won the scoring title for the runners-up, Fugees, and Darryl Twin Butler won the Sportsmanship Award. The final award went to Dudley Said, who received the Lifetime Achievement Award. Ladies and gents, that is your quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
It's now time for a check on the local weather forecast, sponsored by Royal Star Assurance.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's a
you're beautiful.
Stay with us. Our Facebook friend of the day is up next.
We all need to save. Save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
The morning that boat passing through. Now what you got? August Monday. Western homecoming and boat race. To the west side, say? Yeah. West side. To the west side, say? West side, to the west side. August Monday, Western power boat race. To the west side, say? August 5th, to the west side, say?
August Monday, 2024, Powerboat Race. You missed this, you did this. To the west, I say.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Me and Jackson, you are our Facebook friend of the day, and we want to wish you a special happy birthday and hope that you enjoy. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Your one-stop shop for all things news and entertainment.
Bringing you exclusive content from unique talents you can't find anywhere else.
Keeping you updated with the top stories from across the nation.
And entertained with a variety of engaging content.
All in one place.
With one click.
You mean I can get all this in the palm of my hand?
Yes.
On all my favorite devices? Yes.
And with unlimited access to all types of different content.
You won't need to look anywhere else.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
It's Regatta time again from New Bike Cat Island. Beginning Thursday, August 1st through Sunday, August 4th at 3 p.m. Join Ricardo Lightborn for coverage of all the action on the water, entertainment, bragging rights, and much more. Don't miss Regatta time from the 68th Annual Cat Island Regatta, August 1st through the 4th at 3 p.m. on the ZNS Television Network. It's regatta time again from New Bike Cat Island. Beginning Thursday, August 1st through Sunday, August 4th at 3 p.m. Join Ricardo Lightborn for coverage of all the action on the water, entertainment, bragging rights, and much more. Don't miss regatta time from the 68th Annual Cat Island Regatta, August 1st through the 4th at 3 p.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, CARICOM heads call for urgent action in the face of increasing violence in the region and its impact. A leading unionist applying pressure on the government to give his members what's due. Plus, a meeting of the minds as aviation experts touch down in the Bahamas to share ideas and iron out challenges. And in sports, first Bahamian multi-event athlete Ken Mullings to compete at Olympics. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
I'm Akush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The region's unacceptable levels of violence and crime prompting CARICOM to call on stakeholders to work with governments to address a public health and public safety issue impacting everyone. In the end, though, came a commitment to explore new approaches to combat high levels of criminality. Listen in. A call for urgent action for the bloodshed to end. And this time, the appeal's not coming from locals, but CARICOM heads lamenting the levels of crime and violence in the region, fueled, they say, by firearms and ammunition trafficking, transnational criminal networks, and a deterioration of social structures. For instance, Haiti's record-high deadly violence puts it at number 1 on Numbio's 2024 Caribbean Crime Index, Trinidad and Tobago at number 2, Jamaica 3. Further along comes the Bahamas at number 7, with a level of crime at a high of just over 78%. Just last week, Police Commissioner Clayton Fernanda pointed to a 20.33% surge in homicides compared to the same time last year. The 71 homicides recorded at that point has in recent days swelled to near 80. The spike prompting urgent calls for action from community and religious leaders. On a wider scope, regional heads have reiterated their commitment to ongoing urgent action to protect their citizens.
One of the things we discussed is taking a regional approach to a comprehensive review of all existing legislation that treats with firearms, the possession and the trafficking of firearms, to see how we could find a more common platform and to ensure judicial consistency as well in the approach to sentencing in particular. That's just one of the tools that we discussed, and to ensure that we share best practices, share legislation, and take a common approach to this issue. The issue of bail was also extensively discussed.
According to CARICOM Chair and Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honourable Dickon Mitchell, response to the impact of crime also discussed, as well as the need for social and cultural interventions.
The heads had previously held a meeting in Trinidad and Tobago on addressing crime, criminality and violence as a public health issue. Prime Minister Marty of Barbados has agreed to host a follow-up meeting before the end of the year in Barbados on this issue. We also will continue to strengthen and continue to use the regional institutions such as CARICOM Impacts to help us address some of the issues posed by transnational crime.
And instead of just sitting back in observer mode, the body reiterates a message local officials have repeatedly stressed. Be part of the solution by reporting crimes. Now, as expected, the situation in Haiti also discussed during CARICOM's 47th meeting earlier this week. Head of Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council and former Haitian Senate President Edgar Leblanc confirming that the council, that is, in consultation with the Eminent Persons Group, have decided to hold general elections at the end of 2025. The Transitional Council will also set a new mandate in 10 days with the Eminent Persons Group on the way forward. Further, he disclosed through his interpreter some positive news. The joint law enforcement operation between the Haitian National Police, military, and the Kenyan forces has already put a dent in the escalating violence in Port-au-Prince and other major cities in Haiti.
What we see is a sign of life retaking its normal course and the economic situation improving. A clear sign of that progress was the fact that 80,000 students in the metropolitan area were able to successfully attend to their end-of-year exams, their official exams, and that's a sign of progress and of clear direction towards a better security situation, even if the steps are very small.
Now, speaking of security and safety, back here at home, a mother's wails piercing the Fox Hill community following the slaying of her son Wednesday evening. As our Lloyd Allen tells us in this report, the victim had just left his Fox Hill home for a mom-and-pop store when he was fatally shot.
Francis Street and Umbersta Avenue in the Fox Hill community, the scene of the country's latest homicide. According to police reports, the incident happened just shortly after 6:30, where 34-year-old Oral Roberts was shot just feet away from his home.
Just 4 days ago, they had him into headquarters.
Miss Roberts, the mother of the victim, feels her son was being targeted and is calling for transparency in a full investigation into his killing following reports of a registered government vehicle allegedly being involved.
He saw it on Facebook where they were putting things in these different locations where these guys just with the I got monitor bracelet. He called his lawyer and he sent the footage and thing to his lawyer. You had my child driving through court from last year, November. You could tell me you only have a voluntary bill of indictment to say why I'm through court. What y'all pick up my child to carry him to police headquarters for, to question him?
She recounts the final moments with her son.
Me and him sit on the porch. He gone and he buy me a Subway sandwich. He came back and me and him was sitting on the porch eating some mixed nuts. And when I hear the gunshot, I run out. I said, Oral, you hear them gunshot? When I come out, Oral in the road dead.
Speaking with the media, Assistant Police Commissioner Roger Thompson says much remains unclear.
The police would have received a shot spotter alert. During this period of time, we already had officers who were on the road. I am able to say that he was fitted with an EMD. And that is the extent of the information that we have at this stage.
Police also questioned about that red plate vehicle. They had this response.
I am unable to verify any information at this stage.
Officer in charge of the Fox Hill Police Station, Superintendent Mario Sweeting, added this detail.
The last time he reported into the station was sometime last week, so.
The victim's family say while the death is a loss, they will continue to press for the truth, even if it requires an independent inquest. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard, meantime, calling on the government to prioritize protection for vulnerable women and children by implementing programs and laws to reduce crime. The opposition leader recommends halfway houses, quick and sensitive intervention in reported cases, vigorous public education, and collaboration with those who have fought against gender-based violence for years. His comments stem from the country's recent homicides, the latest, as we've reported, involving a young woman on Miami Street and a young man in Fox Hill. The F&M leader affirms that as the murder count approaches 80, the party joins all Bahamians who are distressed by the current state of crime. Well, the Court of Appeal dismisses an application to stay the trial of former Water and Sewage Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson and his 4 co-accused. Court President Justice John Isaacs indicating in his oral judgment, among other things, that the application could not be granted, bearing in mind there was nothing before the court upon which it was based. Justice Isaacs then dismissed the application, noting that the matter is to proceed with all due haste. Gibson's attorneys also sought to stay the trial last year after launching a constitutional motion, and this after Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson determined that their first constitutional motion was improper. Gibson and his co-defendants are facing a number of charges, including fraud by false pretenses. In other news tonight, digital assets will see an elevation in regulation, as will the role of the Securities Commission. The entities will see the implementation of both the Digital Assets and Registered Exchanges Act and the Securities Industry Act. Jimenita Swain joins us live tonight and shares more on her chat with the Commission's Executive Director on key points of the legislation, which in many aspects puts the Bahamas on the cutting edge. Good evening, Jimenita.
Good evening, Makushla. Yes, indeed. Both pieces of legislation considered robust and critical to the work of the Securities Commission, which seeks to stay at the forefront of industry practices. Executive Director Christina Roll explained that the recent legislation builds on what was outlined in the DARE Act 2020.
We have a new regime for staking, which is the staking of digital assets. I think we can boast that we're probably the first in the world to develop a comprehensive framework for staking. We have also developed a comprehensive framework for the registration and regulation of stablecoins. In the stablecoin regime, we also have robust reporting.
Other digital assets include items such as photos, manuscripts, documents, and data.
Crypto is a type of digital asset that the underlying technology uses cryptography, and it functions over what we call a blockchain. And so basically, people are trading assets over the blockchain, which provides a permanent record of these transactions.
The Securities Commission more modern as well with the passage of the Securities Industry Act 2024. It's something Roll touched on as well.
We have, but that said, we have spent some time clarifying our regulatory authority, specifically our enforcement powers and our supervisory powers. Another point that we did make very clear in the Securities Industry Act, and I guess it ties in with the Digital Assets Act, is that we've made it clear that when securities are tokenized, they fall within the definition of securities and would therefore fall within the Securities Industry Act.
Roll says both acts will address the growth in the digital assets to accommodate innovation and position the country as a leading financial sector. Back to you, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Jimenita. Prime Minister Davis returns home. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
At Commonwealth Bank, we offer affordable and flexible choices to get you back to financial fitness. Our personalized debt consolidation solution is built to fit any financial situation. One easy-to-handle monthly payment reduces your monthly expenses and gets you back on track to savings. Life is great when you're not weighed down by debt. Consolidate and live your best life with Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
Finger licking good.
When we started Storm Frame Windows in 1999, we wanted to fabricate an impact-rated product to compete with the Florida market, and we've done this. There's no fabricator or vendor from Florida that can do what we can in the Bahamas. Because we fabricate locally and we're a local-based company, we have the capability to provide better customer service than our competitors. With all the worldwide supply chain issues, we at Stormframe have improved our fabrication process and have invested in stock to be able to produce our orders in 4 weeks. We also keep in stock over 400 windows and doors at standard sizes for walk-in customers to purchase. Our professional sales staff is here to assist you with the complete purchase and installation. We also service and ship to the out outlets.
Thank you for your support, Bahamas.
Thank you for your support, Bahamas.
Bank of the Bahamas understands that excellence in banking is not just a goal, but an unending journey. In just a few years, we have doubled the number of ATMs in our network. We've renovated facilities in Freeport and introduced new state-of-the-art premises in Nassau. Updated our website, making it easier for clients to stay in touch. And with our new mobile app, you can bank on the go 24/7. We've upgraded our cards to secure chip and contactless technology and introduced a chip and contactless debit card. And there's more to come, because excellence isn't about reaching a pinnacle. It's about cultivating a business that puts you at the center. BOB, your bank of solutions.
It's getting hot in Marco's, and we're bringing the heat straight to your doorstep. We're giving you a fiery food experience like never before. For a limited time only, try our new sizzling fiery flavors featuring Reaper cheese on our fiery pozzolis, pizzas, cheesy bread, and pizza bowls. Can you handle it? Taste the heat and order one now at marcospizzabahamas.com.
Take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you are is mine now. Na 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 na. I got a good feeling. Na 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 na. I got a good feeling. Good feeling. You wanna know is how to hold on to it every moment. Dive into it like my love is an ocean. It's overflowing. I swear it's golden. So good that I'm rolling. Baby, you make me crazy. I'm seeing roses. Baby, just maybe you save me. Oh, take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Bam! I got him! What you playing? Cinema classic, y'all.
Girl, you see him? You see him? Oh, that's my dream man right there.
Listen, the only man I just dream about is Percy. Him and his pension plan just keep me smiling in my sleep. That's right. Percy get a pension plan where you could win up to $1,000 a week for a year.
Can you lie?
No, ma'am. Every time you deposit $20 on your verified Island Game account during July and August, you automatically enter to win one of 13 pensions. God, Percy is my dream man. Look at that. Look at that. Woo-hoo.
Is somebody saying Percy?
Working on your account and ride the easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Back into school.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Well, the government giveth and the government taketh away. So says one union leader who's up in arms over public service salary increases that he says have had no impact on his membership, and so much so that he's calling for the government to do more and give what is owed. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
Rendered negligible. That's the belief of Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsley Ferguson about the public service salary increases agreed to by the union that took effect Monday. When coupled with the July 1st 1.5% national insurance contribution rate hike, the union leader says the increase for his membership is virtually non-existent.
A person whose NIB contributions would have been $70.85. As of yesterday, an increase of $17.11, which brings it to $87.96, thereby leaving an increase of $20.39, which basically amounts to 65 cents per day, which is no increase at all.
Ferguson says the union had wanted to ease the burden of the high cost of living on public servants, but feels austerity measures are being implemented with low-income earners bearing the burden. He's also eager for a livable wage to be implemented.
I believe that the government could have been even a little bit more considerate and deducted monies in a incremental way. And so, again, it appears as if the government gave an increase and took it back.
The union had filed a trade dispute with the Department of Labor for public servants who from 2023 to 2024 never got increases. While government continues to boast of signing 32 industrial agreements, the union leader who says he has discussed the matter with the minister and prime minister wants public servants to get their due.
Well, it's more than 1 year later, and the persons have not received their funding. I want to encourage the government of the Bahamas to please, yes, you would have signed off 32 industrial agreements. Now let's concentrate on ensuring that what you agreed to is expedited.
Meantime, in a statement Monday, the minister acknowledged the NIB rate hike did impact staff salary increases that some may not have considered, but when outstanding money will be paid to public servants remains to be seen. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis back home tonight. He landed at the London Pinley International Airport earlier this afternoon, greeted by his wife Anne-Marie, Health and Wellness Minister the Honourable Dr. Michael Darville, and Police Commissioner Clayton Fernando. The Prime Minister is grateful for the love and support he received during his medical treatment.
Oh, I'm in good shape. I'm happy to be back home, ready to go to work. I just want to thank the numerous of Bahamian people who were saying prayers for me while I underwent the treatment. The treatment is a success. Just recovery time and a healing period that I have to go through, but I'm very happy and elated to be home.
Oh, the Bahamas to play host to more than 100 aviation executives and airport stakeholders from the United States, the Caribbean, and Latin America at this Sunday's Airport of the Americas annual conference. Attendees coming together to discuss important topics affecting international aviation. Participants will have the opportunity to hear how others are handling current challenges and to discover new solutions for safety, security, commercial air service development, infrastructure development, and funding issues. Aviation Director Dr. Kenneth Romer explains.
The significance is that for the first time, airport executives coming to the Bahamas as their host destination. And this is very significant for us. When we look at our other regional counterparts, they look at the region and ask who would be positioned to host, have the credibility to host a conference of this magnitude in country. And the Bahamas was selected. We didn't go and bid on it. They came to us. They says, we like what the Bahamas is doing. We like what you represent. It is, the country is making waves globally and throughout the region, and we want to come to the Bahamas.
And in this week's episode of WealthWise, Leno Corporate Services talks sense about something that can be a very touchy subject for married couples. Here's Amajal Knowles.
How to handle the family finances is often a very contentious matter between husband and wife, sparking some very lively discussions. Cleora Farquharson, Vice President of Business Development and Client Relations at Leno Corporate Services, has some sensible suggestions as to how couples should deal with their finances, keep the peace, and get wealth wise. Here is one of her most important tips.
I would recommend couples pooling their resources together to make sure that the household is taken care of.
Where should we start?
One of the things that I'd actually recommend is they would do a couple's budget. And that budget will entail all the incomes coming out, all the expenses going out, any savings and any investment. When you pool the resources together and you work together, it's going to lead for less stress and better communication with that couple.
What's next?
What I would prefer or I would recommend is a hybrid circumstance where major expenses like mortgages, etc., is pooled into one account, and then personal needs, they would have their own individual accounts.
Now, why should you advocate for a joint account as well as a personal account for each spouse?
I like the idea of a consolidated fund, but we know how people go, right? I think there's going to be a situation where you want to have your own personal account and make sure that, if you have little here, the women, if they have to pay for here, et cetera, nails, et cetera, they can take that from that account. But what I would recommend is that even though they would have their own personal accounts, each party knows the codes, which banks it is, the monies are kept in, et cetera, because life happens. If something happens to that one individual, they'll be able to access those funds by knowing the codes, et cetera.
Now, if there are children in the family, should they have a part in the family's financial planning?
And I would actually also recommend it if they have children, bring the children into the conversation as well. Let these children know that mom and dad do not go into the back of the yard and pick money off a tree. They have to go to work, and these monies have to be set aside for whatever the expenses that they do have, and it has to be budgeted, right? I think when you start to bring up financial responsible kids, you bring up financially responsible adults, and these add to the growth and development of any country.
And so there's no need to fuss about finances with your spouse anymore. Now you have the right plan so you can stay calm and get more wealth wise with Leno Corporate Services. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Well, we still have more news to come, but again, Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports. Amo?
Coming up in sports, we sit down with decathlete Ken Mullings as he makes his Olympic debut, and Jazz has done it yet again. Details of those stories and more coming up in sports.
If you see news in the making, call ZNS News at 502-3800 or email us at znsnews@gmail.com.
At the first day of the Nassau Goombay Summer Festival, both Bahamians and visitors to the country came together to celebrate the occasion with live performances, cultural activities, and delicious cuisine. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, officially opened the festivities by remarking on how Goombay speaks to the heart of life here in the islands of the Bahamas.
Goombay Summer Festival was started in about 1970, and I read the old speech of Sir Lyndon Pinling, who wanted the world to know that Goombay Summer Festival was designed so that we can show the world our heart. We can show the world who we are, and we can demonstrate that notwithstanding the beauty of our country, we are so much more than just sun, sand, and sea. But this is our things, and we like to celebrate our culture. And it's more than just about music. It's about our arts, and our crafts, and our food, and our drinks. Yes, the drinks. But we bring back Gumbe Summer Festival after it's been on hiatus for a little while. And I believe this is our 3rd year since we came back, but we've been doing this since 1971. And we are so excited that we're taking it all around the islands. Tonight is a night to celebrate our culture. Tonight is a night to celebrate our entertainers. Tonight is a night to watch our children run free all across Bay Street. That's what Gumbe Summer Festival is all about.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I read you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Whether you need life insurance, an endowment plan, or health insurance, BAF has you for all stages of your life.
For all of life's twists, turns, and defining moments, RBC is meant for all of you.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Club of Nassau AM giving male junior high students a chance to learn about financial prudence. The boys participating in an 8-week barbering program, a cut above, giving them the option of making an honest living outside the classroom. President Makiba Ford says she's motivated to mold the country's future generation.
We're just happy to always be a part of uplifting our youth and giving you a trade that you can have going forward so that your life will never be lacking.
Awarded certificates and their very own barber kits. Upon the course's completion, instructor Ian Clark even invited one of them to work at his barbershop this summer.
What made me wanted to do this course was the mere fact that the Lord has given me a gift. He has given me a talent, and I just wanted to be able to share my talent and my gift with the young men and the young youths of our future.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news when we return.
Team, it's important that we save money so y'all can get raise, bonuses, and sick leave with pay. You know, you're always sick. We have to become an energy efficient business. Suggestion?
Swap out the 100-watt light bulbs and replace them with LEDs. Less energy, and it covers more area.
Turn the power off. I light some candles.
I love it. Black out.
How about we replace the old air conditioner one time, repairing it over and over and over, just adding up. We need a new 18-SEER AC. It saves 30 to 50% more energy.
I say, take out the AC. Let them catch breeze.
Or buy fans.
Buy? Do the star. You feel like that's breeze. You costing me money. SBDC encourages you to save energy and money.
And store the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Kellogg's Giant Size Cereals, assorted 24-ounce, $6.69. Distinction Evaporated Milk, 14-ounce, $1.19. Sweet Peaches, $1.99 per pound. Olivia Vegetable and Canola Oil, 48-ounce, $4.99. Whole chicken wings, $1.79 per pound. Red Hot savings all summer long at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
We here at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Emerald Bay rebranded. The property will undergo an estimated $100 million transformation to become Beaches Exuma. The redevelopment entails the resort's temporary closure starting August 15th to jumpstart a 6 to 8 month construction phase. Member of Parliament for Exuma, Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper confirming in a statement today that construction is projected to generate 400 jobs as well as produce other opportunities for local contractors and other businesses on the island. The 425 Bahamians employed at Sandals Emerald Bay, 200 of them from Exuma, will be retained to secure and manage the facility during the temporary closure. In fact, some employees got the option today to be redeployed to other Sandals properties, including a skeleton's crew to the Turks and Caicos Islands. He added that Beaches Exuma will employ more than 850 people and significantly boost local employment and family-focused entrepreneurial opportunities. The Exuma MP also announced an August 9th jobs and entrepreneurship fair for Exuma residents, featuring existing and new hotel developers. Well, Silver Airways' recent announcement that it's halting flights servicing South Bimini until next weekend, again shining the spotlight on the critical state of the country's family island airports. Behind the airline's decision, mechanical issues with the island's only firefighting and rescue vehicle. The Ministry of Tourism, Aviation and Investments has since noted that repairs to the vehicle should be completed in a matter of days, allowing for the reinstatement of those flights. Aviation Director Dr. Kenneth Romer is tonight assuring residents that improving family island airports is an ongoing process.
I think sometimes if we contextualize the process to constructing an airport, there are several components. We have to look at the design, the building of airports, the financing, ensuring that we have the right persons to operate and to manage it. So even though you might not see buildings coming out the ground, it does not negate the fact that a lot of work is going into the proper planning.
Now, just a correction there, Silver Airways halting flights until the week's end and not next weekend. Now, Dr. Roma points to work happening in Bimini with a groundbreaking for an airport there set for later this month, with work also slated for Exuma and Cat Island before year's end.
A lot of work right now is going into the airside, okay? Looking at improving the aprons, the taxiways, the runways that are critical again to improving the entire airdrome experience for airport users. So work is happening. We share the anxiety. I'm a family island boy also, and of course the passion for seeing family island airports development is not just one that I share professionally, but it's very personal to me.
Well, it's about that time for a check on Family Island weather, and as always, we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean for the information. Basil?
Good evening, Commissioner. Well, we have patchy clouds this evening. The temperature at 86 degrees. Relative humidity 72%. East-northeast winds at 9 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,018.0 millibars. That's 30.06 inches. And your temperatures around the islands this evening. Marshall Babico at 85, 86 in Greentoul, Key Anne, and Freeport, Grand Bahama. The Berry Islands 83, Alistown, Bimini 87, 88 in Harbor Island, Rock Sound, Eleuthera 85, Fresh Creek, Central Andros, Kemp Space out Andros, and Black Point, Exuma, all at 87 degrees. Alistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey 85, 86 in Georgetown, Exuma, Regatta Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, and Betsy Bay again at 85 degrees, 88 in Acklands, Machitan, Agua 87, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 85 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Alive Business, where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwestern islands tonight, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Your low tide will take place at 19 minutes past midnight. In the central and southeastern islands tonight, easterly flow 15 to 20 knots. Wave heights 4 to 6 feet. So caution flags are already in place for the central and southeastern islands. And then tomorrow, Thursday, the winds maintain that easterly flow 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights unchanged at 2 to 4. High tide 6:01 in the morning with the low tide at 12:07 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, that zonal flow, just winds blowing out of the east 15 to 20 knots, choppy seas at 4 to 7 feet. So the caution flags routine into Thursday. On Friday in the northwestern islands, we will see an increase in the winds for the northwest, becoming easterly at 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights building 3 to 6 feet. So on Friday, we will post a caution flag for the northwestern islanders. High tide 6:55 in the morning with a low tide at 12:59 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, a further increase as that wave moves through the central Bahamas on Friday. Those winds will pick up 15 to 25 knots. Very rough sea conditions at 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. So we'll place an advisory in place for the central and southeastern islands on Friday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. Brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Extended weather forecast is still ahead.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, follow us at ZNS Digital on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit us on our website at znsbahamas.com.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Greatest gymnast is saying, I'm not myself, this doesn't feel right.
People like to put us on a pedestal when all I wanted was to be normal, to be human, like everybody else. I still have to dig deep down and remember why I'm doing it, and do it for the little girl.
As hot as the weather, shop and save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 7 1/4 ounce, 2 for $2.39. Libby's Vienna sausage, 4.6 ounce, $1.19. Best value whole kernel corn, 15 ounce, 99 cents. Iceberg lettuce, $2.49 each. Turkey wings, $1.99 per pound. Red Hot savings all summer long at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports team Bahamas with a break before resuming competition over in Paris at the 2024 Olympic Games. Action picking back up with track and field on Friday, and one of the first athletes out of the gate will be Ken Mullings, who made history becoming the first Bahamian to qualify for the multi-event. Our Marcellus Hall sat down with him about his expectations in this Olympic update.
This Olympic update is brought to you by J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, Comfort Suites Paradise Island, the Gaming Board of the Bahamas, Bonaventure Medical Laboratory, Original Parties, and Gatorade. Here's Marcellus Hall from Paris, France.
Well, guys, early evening here in Paris, France, and while it was a non-competition day for Team Bahamas, tomorrow will not be the same because that is when Ken Mullings takes to the track, first-time Olympian, going for it in the decathlon. Let's take a closer look at what he has ahead. When the decathlon starts tomorrow, Ken Mullings will make history as the first Bahamian decathlete. The 27-year-old has been competing previously both at C.C. Sweeting and the University of the Bahamas, now ready to step onto the big stage as a first-time Olympian. He talked about his preparations going into Paris.
My preparation has been going really well so far. Since I was in Paris, we had a few sessions over the hurdles, shot put, and javelin, and so far it's been going well with Mr. Maycock and Coach James helping me.
Mullings says his progressions have been good, setting new national records each and every time he stepped onto the track and into competition. He says he expects that trend to continue, especially going into this event.
I was more patient. I mean, every year I focus on being patient, but this year it was easier to execute under the right coaches and the right equipment. It was easier to really progress in the right direction.
As for some of the events that he feels weaker in, he says he's addressed that situation as well by focusing on getting better at those ones in particular.
Well, the adjustments I made in those two events, we had to go back to my old results and like the old videos I had and compare them to the few times that I've actually done it right to see what I was making the mistakes at. So that's what we was focusing on, trying to correct those little things that I wasn't doing this year or what I was doing last year that I'm not doing now.
So there you are. Tomorrow, decathlon time as Ken Mullings and other athletes get into action. Our mixed relay team also expected to see some activity. We'll give you details on that as those events happen. Meanwhile, I'm Marcellus Hall reporting to you live from Paris, France. See you tomorrow.
This Olympic update is brought to you by J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, Comfort Suites Paradise Island, the Gaming Board of the Bahamas, Bonaventure Medical Laboratory, Original Parties, and Gatorade.
Thanks, Marcellus. In basketball news, the Bahamas Basketball Federation's Summer of Thunder tournament well underway here in the capital, holding games at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium as well as Bahamar. Our intern, Swanson Gibson, was courtside yesterday for a showdown between some of our local all-stars and a big Division I program. More in this report.
We're courtside at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gymnasium for the annual Summer of Thunder basketball series. Right now, we have the East Carolina Pirates taking on the Bahamas All-Stars. Here's a quick recap. The All-Stars had a lackluster start, being outplayed on both sides of the ball. However, they would minimize the deficit midway through the second quarter. After the half, the Pirates would expand the lead, winning the game 91-70. ECU coach Mike Schwartz discusses his team's performance and Bahamian basketball.
From a standpoint of experience, really a great opportunity for our program and for our guys to be in a historic place like this, the national team training facility. Our guys are very familiar with this program and respect Bahamian basketball, so to be able to come and play in this facility is a great treat and experience for our guys. As far as executing game plan, coach did a great job on the other side, threw a wrinkle at us. He played zone a lot of the time. To be quite honest, we're in summer in the States, a summer workout. We don't work on everything. Zone was not something we had been really working a ton of, but it's good for our guys, and this will help us moving forward. But great experience overall and a lot of respect for their program and their coaching staff.
For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
Thanks, Swanson. Well, he's done it again. After setting the baseball world and internet ablaze on Monday evening, Bahamian baseball superstar Jazz Chisholm would do it again on Tuesday, as Jazz would go yard twice in back-to-back games, becoming the first player in the storied history of the New York Yankees franchise to have 4 home runs in their first 3 games. He would go 3 for 6 with 2 homers and 5 ribbies to help lift the Yankees over the Phillies in a 12-inning thriller, 7-6. And finally, the holiday weekend in August means it's certainly regatta time again. One of the many island hotspots that will be jumping with activity will be over in Black Point, Exuma, as they host their homecoming and regatta. Our Charles Fisher recently caught up with the organizers about what we can expect.
It's all about Black Point. If you have never been there, this is the place to be this weekend. Eltaniqua Curry-Simonet, Assistant Treasurer, says count for the excitement.
Our activities start actually as early as Thursday, where we have a free giveaway for all of the kids and all of the seniors. So we're asking everyone to send the kids down to the regatta site. And this is our opportunity to, give back to the Black Point community. So we have a free giveaway for the kids and the seniors. Throughout the weekends, we have our watermelon eating contest, pineapple eating contest. We decided to take it back with the old-fashioned egg and spoon, straw plaiting contest. So we have a lot to look forward to. We have artists coming down like the one and only Nishi LS. We have Ebony. We have Iron Store. They'll be backed by the Tropical Breeze Band.
The best in C-Class sleuths will be on the water, and Dennis Chucky Smith and crew ready to get it on.
Well, they say the competition is going to be between H2O and Slaughter, because the last race we had there like a week ago, they were the 2 dominating boats. But then you'll have H2O Slaughter, Chaser, Lady Honest, Patent Pride, Raging Bull. Only fast boat in Black Point. Every year to the BOB, top 10, we normally have 6 or so more boats in BOB. So that's why Black Point is known for some of the fastest E-Class in the country.
The highlight of Black Point is the world-famous Ugly Man Contest. Don Roll, Public Relations and Contest CEO.
Everybody wants to participate in beauty contests. And then everybody, Moses a couple of years ago said, don't make no sense glorifying people, because ugly people need praises as well. So we glorifying some of them ugly fellas. We got some new creatures. We also honoring some of them old creatures. We're retiring some of them. We're giving Bush a doctorate degree in ugly, because Bush was the ugliest man for the last 24 years. He won a couple of competitions, so we're gonna say, Bush, that's it. And Silver, we're bringing Silver back in, and we're bringing 2 or 3 of them out of Andros.
Black Point sounds like the place to be this August Monday, holiday weekend. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
That's a look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Now, I know I've said it before, but this time, I swear it's different. Grammy dreamed about this number, so I won't lose. I can't lose. This is my last time. Please, son, just give me one more chance. I'll give it all back to you.
Excessive gaming affects more than just the gamer. This message has been brought to you by the Gaming Board for the Bahamas, which encourages you to game responsibly.
At Original Patties, quality is always job number one. With 2 convenient locations, you have twice the opportunity to enjoy our beef, chicken and veggie patties, escabeche fish, chicken and mutton roti, and our succulent jerk chicken and pork. Choose from a wide selection of tasty pastries, cakes, and breads, or pull up to our 2 convenient drive-through windows for great service with a smile. Original Patties Bakery Limited, Tonic Williams Darling Highway and Blue Hill Road South.
Bonaventure Medical Laboratory, we are a medical lab that's all-encompassing. We have a full test menu. We do a lot of the tumor markers, such as the PSAs for prostate cancer, the CEA for colon cancer, CA125 for ovarian cancer. We do infectious disease testing, do some drug screen testing, paternity testing, you know, all the regular services that the private medical lab would offer. And if there's something that we don't do in-house, we have a reference lab that we send our samples to. So, you know, there's no lab test that we're not able to have done for you. If we don't do it in-house, we make sure it gets done. The government subsidizes the NHI, so your lab tests are actually free. So if you go to an NHI physician, she simply gives you a requisition form, you bring it to the lab, and you're not paying for your lab test. Our hours of operation in Freeport, we're here from 8 a.m. every day until 4 p.m., except on Saturdays, it's from 8 a.m. until 2. Contact information, Freeport is 352-5220. We also have a website, www.bonaventurelab.com.
Greatest gymnast is saying, I'm not myself, this doesn't feel right. People like to put us on a pedestal when all I wanted was to be normal, to be human, like everybody else. I still have to dig deep down and remember why I'm doing it, and do it for the little girl.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we get you started in the tropics, and all eyes are on a very active tropical wave, which is approaching Hispaniola. Showers right now associated, it is rather ragged, and we don't anticipate any development in the short term. As a matter of fact, we're putting that at 0%. And that's because once it moves over Hispaniola, it will encounter the mountainous terrain, which will limit any kind of development, and that coupled with some dry dust in that area will ensure that we have very little development. However, once that wave moves into the warm waters of the Bahamas, and that will happen sometime on Friday, we expect some development to take place there. The good news is it will be moving away from us, so it only will be a rain-generating system for us over the weekend. Satellite pictures are showing the ragged showers and thunderstorms associated with that system. It's very broad, so definitely showers going to be spreading into the southeast Bahamas beginning tomorrow afternoon, and by Thursday night into the central Bahamas. Friday, we will see the leading edge of that working its way into the northwest Bahamas as well, and a train of showers will occur right into the early part of next week. Our forecast for tonight, we're going in for partly cloudy, very warm conditions tonight with a couple of showers developing late, 82 degrees for your low temperature, and tomorrow partly sunny and hot again with a couple of afternoon showers. 90 degrees is your expected high, and your extended weather forecast, well, 90 degree will occur tomorrow and thereafter. We're going to have some heavy cloud covers going into Friday and Saturday with scattered showers and thunderstorms, some of which will be heavy at time, leading to localized ponding in those low-lying areas. And tonight, Makishla, before we leave, I have one out of 17 cadets in studio with me tonight. He's a part of the Ministry of Energy and Transport Niccolo P. Small Meteorology Cadet Program, and he's here this evening, and I'll introduce him and our audience.
Well, welcome to the Bahamas tonight. I understand that it's a 4-week program. You're already in your 3rd week.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the obvious question is, how has it been so far?
So far, I've really enjoyed the program. My most favorite part in the program is understanding the way weather patterns work and how we can forecast the weather and understand how it affects our country. And then, depending on how it affects our country, we can then go about our day preparing for the weather to come. I really enjoy, it's kind of like looking into the future almost.
Oh, so cool. Well, I'll tell you, you have one of the best, or the best teacher out there in that sector.
Yes, ma'am.
And all the best for you. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for watching. From all of us here, no one covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. And that does it for us tonight. Good night. Thank you for watching.
You're watching the ZNS Network.